Spit it out. Spit it out. All right. It's a beautiful morning. About 85. Sun's out. Not a cloud in the sky. I have no more t-shirts left. I have one pair of clean pants, one pair of clean underwear and socks that I have on now. I accomplished the driveway into the property. I got about 300 feet past the border, and I'm dead in the water now because there are a bunch of Joshua trees in the way. So I don't want to bulldoze them over yet. I'm going to go down to the nursery and see if they're interested in replanting them somewhere else. If not, well, then I guess I'm going to bulldoze them down. I don't know. I'm going to finish this weekend by removing those two steel bent forklift brackets from the blade. And then I'm going to call it a successful weekend. So stick around and enjoy the view. Spectacular. So look at all those biscuits. Look at the size of that biscuit right there. Look at that. Look at that biscuit. Huge biscuits. Look at this biscuit here. Look at the size of that biscuit. Look at that. And that's a small one. There's my shoe size. That's 9.5 for comparison. And that's a small biscuit. Alright, let's get the blade. Let's get the blade on the grinder. Alright, so. One cutoff wheel. Wonder. You know I'm not going to be able to do the one cutoff wheel. No, that ain't no good. That ain't no good. What the hey? No, that ain't no good. That's gonna hold that in place. I think that's. I don't like the way that doesn't fit flush on the arbor. Well, that's. Should we go the other way? If I go that way. So let's see. Right, you see there's a gap, right? I don't know how good that's gonna hold up. We'll see. We'll see, I guess. Time will tell whether I'm successful. Oh. I got a finger grinding wheels. And they came with two cutoff. Only 2 cutoff wheels? Uh-oh. Now we're limited on supplies. I have to be careful. I got the generator hooked up. Wire wheel, not the wire wheel, cutting wheel. And I'm gonna cut those welds. Cut those welds off, remove those 2 bent and broken forklift holes. So I want to make sure there are no rattlesnakes sunning or shading themselves under the bucket, because that would be a bit of a pain to get bit if I step down there. All looks clear. Let's fire it up and get to cutting. Lay the hammer down. Let's start do the cutting. So I can get it on this side with the cutting wheel, but on this side, that bracket's in the way. And there's no way I'm going to get that cutoff wheel in there. So I'm going to have to get the torch. Unfortunately, I took the torch out of the bed no breakfast because I didn't have any room for some other stuff I wanted. And I didn't think that I was going to need the torch, which I guess I'm going to need. Also, it's starting to dry up here, and I'm gonna need a fire extinguisher, a big water fire extinguisher at least, if I'm gonna do any cutting with a torch, because I don't want to be setting up any BLM property or my own property on fire. So that's about what I accomplished right there on that side. Let me go get the tool for the disc and retighten that disc, and then hopefully at least I'll be able to cut one side off with the grinder, and then I'll have to come back with the torch and cut the other side off with the torch. Oh well, the forces of Asia. Hup, there goes a donkey. He's galloping along. Dun dun dun. To where I don't know. Oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. What to do, what to do, what to do. Hey, look at that biscuit. Look at the size of that biscuit. Right, hang on a minute. Look at the size of that biscuit. Right? Unbelievable. Can you tell I'm hungry? Biscuits and gravy with some... Man, I don't like fried chicken. Alright. I can feel the solar radiation permeating my skin. I think that's it. I'm going to call that a lesson in futility. It's the discs, 4-inch discs, but due to the dimension of the head on the grinder, I'm only getting about 2-inch cut before it wears down. So I got it pretty much cut. I can't get to the bottom down here because of the angle of the disc and the dimensions of the disc. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to need a torch. So I guess it's time to hit the laundromat, get something to eat, and then hit the showers. I can't wait to get this fur off my face. Thanks for joining in on my adventure, and we'll see you in a few. Adios, muchachos, or chicas, whichever you prefer to be called.